main event time, Chris Jericho in the second labor, no rules match as well versus Nick Gage, the king of the death match himself, who just lost his title on Game Changers Wrestling to Matt Cardona in another brutal match. I mean, this is 2 brutal matches in a row. And, Jericho is on my Mount Rushmore and one of my top guys for sure. And I'm an Team Inner Circle 100% all the way. But I was telling you guys this whole time, I'm like, why is Jericho going through this? Why is he doing this? He doesn't need to be doing this. He doesn't need to
because
be putting his body through.
MJF is a miserable son of a bitch. He's an evil.
There's another way around it. I don't even see MJF jerk. on this title picture because his orange spray tan blends in.
Where is he?
So I just kept saying this was such a brutal match. I mean, right away, Jericho's cut open right away, and then he's getting the pizza cutter to the forehead multiple times. I'm like, this is just cringeworthy match to me. And honestly, I expected Gage to take more of the abuse, and Jericho took probably 80% of the abuse. I love that move through the glass off the top rope. Very well executed. Excellent camera angle as well. I hope this, as some of people have kind of planted that seed. I hope this is not the beginning of the end of Jericho. I mean, clearly he's been the godfather, going out week in and week out and carrying this company, carrying the Inner Circle on his back.
Can you imagine what he's
clearly
he's
got so much.
Can you imagine what kind of pain he's going to be in at the end of these
Painmaker.
5 labors? Oh my gosh, man! I mean,
5 weeks in a row of abusive matches, man.
What MJF's putting him through, just to get to MJF, is again perfect for MJF.
Yeah.
This guy is an absolute mastermind, always playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. This dude is so good at what he does. The match itself, I mean, I know SPD, I think that Mind Runner kind of mentions it a little bit. I'm starting to see this pattern too, a different version of himself, almost like the faces of Foley.
I like this.
You get the faces of Jericho kind of play out. Now we get to go to next week. We got to see the Painmaker this week. And boy, that was a brutal, violent. I mean, just honestly, thank God that MJF was on commentary tonight, because there were moments when he had to make me laugh or else I was going to even turn away. There was some gross stuff in this match, man. I mean, when you take a pizza cutter to someone's forehead, when you take a broken light bulb and you just jam it into someone's head over rapid fire, I mean, it was gross. I mean, it was gross. I mean, and I guess maybe even maybe I'm coming off as a hypocrite because I used to watch ECW when I was growing up as a teenager, and maybe the 18-year-old version of myself would be making fun of me. But I feel like this was very, very violent. So I understand for you as a Jericho fan how it was hard to sit through, but that's the whole point of these labors. And I think that, MJF is allowing through his, it's a beautiful thing to me that you're going to start to see him almost through the chapters of Jericho. You're going to see why Jericho is the GOAT through these labors. You're going to see a guy who went to Japan and was the Painmaker and has that badass vibe to him. You're going to see a rematch next week against one of his greatest rivals, Juventud Guerrera. That'll be a lot of fun
for that.
Very fun. It's going to hit the nostalgia vibes. It makes a lot of sense. I like where it's going, how this story is being told. And I think that Jericho obviously surviving this match was difficult, but I think there are going to be some things that come through going forward that you're going to gain even more respect for this guy. I mean, like you said, he took most of it felt like he took most of the violence in this match. It felt like he was the recipient.
That's a fact.
I know that he gave that Frankensteiner off the top rope to Gage through the glass.
Yeah, that was beautifully
the sheet
executed.
of glass, which was beautiful. And I love how Jericho's starting to integrate those corner punches and that Frankensteiner in as a regular, spot. I think fans are impressed. You don't hear a lot of people body shaming Jericho now when you see a guy when you can see him doing something like that off the top rope. Incredibly impressive by Jericho.
Very
being
well
able
executed.
to setting the table for next week against Juventud. I think you're going to dial back. It's not going to be as bloody and kind of tough to sit through. It's going to touch on some of those nostalgia vibes. I think it's going to allow Jericho to show off some of his sense of humor, and I think show off some of his high flying abilities still. Right, the fact that he can go off the top rope, he can hit a lion salt.
I probably couldn't even do that right now.
I think it's an interesting stipulation MJF put out there that you have to, in order to win the match, you have to hit a move off the top rope. I thought that was very interesting. Unique
I wonder what it's going to
stipulation.
be. It could be a lion salt off the top rope. It could be a code breaker off the top rope somehow.
That could
where
happen.
they're both up there. I could see that happening for sure. And I think maybe we might see still Labors 4 and 5, maybe like a submission match. I think that would kind of lean into that as well. A submission match.
I like that.
But man, this was just, it was tough to watch, and I couldn't get fully invested in it because it was a little too brutal for me. And I wanted Jericho to dish out more pain as the Painmaker, not get more pain as the Painmaker.
Pain receiver.
And right, he was the pain receiver out of this mostly. And I wanted a few more high spots to like put out Gage, the King of the Death match. But you could tell Jericho, obviously he's a great actor and everything he does is gold, but anyone who is in his shoes would be feeling the pain, whether you're 20 years old or 50 years old, what he is.
That was brutal, man. I mean, it was brutal. I mean, I think that like there were moments where even the heartless MJF was like, oh my gosh, like, oh, this is disgusting, but it's great. I mean, it was just, he even recognized like this is bordering on almost too violent. I mean,
right.
it was definitely brutal. And again, we saw Moxley and Lance Archer. It's not like Moxley took a fork to Lance Archer's head. It's not like that wasn't anything.
Yeah.
That was for the weak-hearted. But this then definitely. I mean, when you have a guy and you promise the King of the Death match and you hype up what he's capable of, the violence that he's capable of, dude, you can't just have him go out there and get beat up and tossed around by Jericho. You have to allow him to shine and do what he does. True. And there's a reason why MJF paid him the big bucks to come here, and that was to put Jericho through hell. And boy, did he ever! And there's a reason why he is your top performer, because he showed that perseverance. He showed
definitely
an ability to overcome. I think hell in that match.
That is an understatement. He did go through hell and back. I mean.